Alors, comment ça va?
Okay, hello.
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 Welcome to Unbox Exchange. Thank you guys for accepting.
Thanks for inviting us.
It's a big pleasure. It's been a little bit hectic to set up everything.
Hasn't it? But it's worked out fine.
But I think we're good. Look at us.
We are good.
Yeah. I wanna say welcome, and I wanna say that you guys are actually the first
Women, really?
on the show.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah. So such a good combo. See you guys here. It's a big pleasure. What maybe you can start by introducing yourselves, and maybe by Janis, because I know Janis a little more, so I can.
So my name is Janis Pişkin. I founded this course in 2020, and I involved Ulduz because she's got excellent operational skills. So she's my COO and a lot of other things as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a good
so
friend.
I'm a coactive coach, and I've taken the coactive model and I've put a horse in the middle of it. And it's delivering really excellent results. So that's me.
All right.
And I'm very committed to my job. And I give you Ulduz.
Yeah, I'm Ulduz.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I joined the club. I'm a business professional normally, but when I had an aha time with Janis in this program, I realized that I should involve to give a value to individuals and community.
Yeah.
So that's why we have a friendship for more than 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
17 years.
I was her teacher.
Yeah.
Oh, you were her teacher?
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
for the people who don't know, Janis is also an English teacher. So you were, I guess you were giving...
My other job.
While I
Your other
was in charge of execution in a multinational company,
Okay.
an execution role, I needed business English speaking specific in order to communicate with all around the world.
Yeah.
So I have got some English lessons from Janis, and we become friends.
So that's how you guys actually met.
Yes.
17 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Maybe more, eh?
Was it here in...
No. It was in Beşiktaş?
It was in Beşiktaş.
Beşiktaş. All right. So you guys meet, and then friendship
Developed, yes.
develops.
And I've got some individual lessons in her home.
Okay.
And then we started to meet each other in several places just to communicate.
Yeah.
And we realized that we have the same values, and we are a giving people.
Giving people, yeah.
And we keep meeting each other.
Coffee exchanges.
Yeah.
Sushi exchanges.
And we both are, and we both are open communicators and sharing, let's say,
Common.
and sharing experiences
Yeah.
with each other, And
Life
we are
experiences,
multicultural people.
Yeah.
I think that's why it helped to have to keep our relation.
Definitely. Because you mentioned you were from, you had a very wide background, right?
Yeah, my dad is from Iran. He's Turkish and also Persian. My
Okay.
mom is Armenian and also Turkish. So
All right.
that's why
Mixed.
mixed,
All
mixed
right.
of some different cultures.
And Janis, you're also a little bit a mixed culture, because
Yes. What can I say? My father's Dutch, my mother's German Jewish.
German Jewish.
Yeah, but
Wow.
God rest her soul, she's dead. My dad is still alive at the age of 90.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he here or?
No, he's in South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have the chance to visit him sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, go to visit. I go visit once or twice a year.
That's
Because
very
my
nice.
grandchildren are there,
And did you start horses and all that in South Africa?
Yeah, when I was 5.
Wow. So first time on a horse, 5
5 years old, yeah. Couldn't get me off.
Right.
Anything that I can ride, I ride.
You're right.
Anything. Horses, camels, donkeys, you name it.
Anything is good.
Yeah.
And do you ride?
I already started to ride,
Okay.
so I enjoy riding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ride because of Janis, I guess.
After this program, I realized that it's a part of a grow. you
Yeah.
know. So normally in our program, people doesn't ride. We didn't include riding
Yeah.
because it's not a riding lesson, by the way. But after interacting with the horses, I realized that they are a very good vehicles in our life story, let's say, on the flow. So it helped my personal growth, and also as a hobby, I added, and it is one of my priorities now to ride.
Right.
Yeah.
The communication and the relationship with the horse.
Yes,
is something.
and it's the whole story. You know, when you ride a horse, you feel the power, and also you know it's not like a car.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a
it's only one horsepower.
Yeah.
It's one horse.
Yeah, one horsepower.
But you know, it feels you more powerful while you interact with the horse. So,
Alive.
Yeah.
And did you guys like what? Because you know Janis for 17 years,
Yes.
so I guess she initiated you to.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right.
I actually invited her to come and see what I was doing.
Yeah.
And she had an aha moment. What happened? And I didn't have a camera. I wish I had had a camera because it was one of the biggest aha moments I've ever seen or she's ever had.
Yeah.
We were walking with the horse and she said, "Can I run?" And I said, "You can run." And she ran and the horse ran with her.
Wow.
And she was like, "I don't believe." And she was laughing and her smile was so huge. And she was so happy that she'd got this engagement with the horse. And as soon as she stopped running, the horse stopped running. So the horse was totally being led by her. You know, you weren't even connected.
Yeah.
You didn't even have a...
It's like an Avatar movie, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you feel
She didn't
yourself
even-
in a movie. Like, you know, it's really...
She didn't have a lead rein on the horse.
There was
what
not
we
even-
do.
No lead
Nothing.
rein, nothing.
I was running.
Wow.
And he was running after me. We were running together.
Together.
In a flow.
She was leading.
In the same, let's say, mood.
Yeah.
Same
He was
mind
just
space.
following me.
Yeah. Same
Yeah.
mind space. It was
That's
just
crazy.
incredible.
And it was
yeah.
normally I'm an engineer.
Yeah.
So I'm in a positive sciences and I need a solid evidence,
Yeah.
you know, and the direct connection with the result and with the, you know,
Of
the
course,
whole...
2 plus 2 equals 4.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
And that's why it took a lot of time that Janis convinced me about the program. But after a while, when we tried and I see the results and I feel it, and I realized that, yes, it will gonna work in people because there is... I normally believe on the personal growth and the leadership program and the trainings and lots of stuff. But when I experienced this, I realized that we give people an experiential value. It's totally different than everything by just talking. You know, it's an experience.
And it's very difficult to put on a paper.
Of
It's
course,
extremely
that's why,
difficult
that's
to
why
write
whenever
down.
people ask us about the result, Janis gives the same, let's say, example. Because, you know, there is a before and after picture of people. And because she already knew how my face looked.
Changed.
You know, my view changed.
In 5 seconds.
In 5
Not
seconds.
in a millisecond.
Because while I was running and the horse was running like me, it was in a flow.
Yeah.
You know, it is a theory in the social sciences. When you are in the flow, you're in your higher potential.
Yeah.
So
inexplicable, I guess, kind of feeling because you don't.
It's not inexplicable actually, because if you look at the horse, the relationship between horses and humans goes back 10,000 years.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for horses, who would have been the vehicles to drag people all over the world?
Right.
So we've got it's in our genetics. Horses are in our genetics, and we can easily identify with them because they identify with us so easily. They've been groomed since birth to serve us, and they want to serve us, and they want to make us happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why we use horses.
So it was my aha time. Then I said, yes, it works. It's an experiential value. It's not something that you can give people by just talking or explain.
Yeah.
So after a while, we started testimonials and we invited our close friends.
Yeah.
And we saw it worked for any individual.
But as an engineer, it must be such I don't know, like, I don't want to say like
hocus
a new
pocus.
Yeah, because you've been in it since you're 5. So for
Yes.
you, it's nearly like it's just normal.
Yes.
But for someone who's an engineer, I can only imagine how, like, extraordinary it must be.
Yeah, but now I'm writing a PhD thesis on social sciences. Okay, so that's why I'm aware about the theories in social sciences, like cognitive behavior therapy, like lots of theories in the social sciences, like flow theory, attribution theory, and so on. So that's why we research together on the background of scientific background of the program. And then we build a scientific background, especially which are most of them are used in HR, let's say practical HR, let's say the business world. And now I'm totally convinced that it is scientific also.
Yeah, based on facts.
Yes, but it is. I can provide you with tons of academic papers on this coaching. I'll tell you the origins of this coaching. This coaching is adapted from the ancient Greek hippotherapy. Hippo meaning horse and therapy meaning therapy. The ancient Greek people did this therapy 5,000 years ago.
Wow.
Yes.
And they were treating also people.
And they were treating people. And because the horse then was their major, was the only form of transport for a chariot or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
The Romans went around on their horses, you know? Everybody had horses. So this therapy started in ancient Greece like millennia ago. And I've just taken that and adapted it to the modern world so that we can offer value, especially to corporate teams or places that have a high level of toxicity in the environment.
When you say toxicity, is based on like struggles at work and like stress?
Like mobbing and stress at work, or teammates not communicating correctly or positively. So what we try to do is we watch the cognitive behavior of the person with the horse or the people with the horse, and when we see negative cognitive behavior, we step in and we change it into positive cognitive behavior. So the change is instant. And then we reinforce that. We keep on reinforcing that positive change in order to bring out the positive side of the person. Because in many, and she will be testament to this, in many
and also it's
corporates.
From the positive side, for a succession planning, to make an awareness and prepare people for the next step. So every company has a succession planning in a professional way. So everybody has a potential, let's say, grow platform.
Targets.
So it prepares for the next step. So that's why
it's actually a tool for any kind of decision making
situation.
Yes, any. If you need.
So that's would that be like the how would you in one sentence explain what exactly is hippotherapy?
Exactly what is hippotherapy?
Is it like treatment of a human being with a horse?
It is the coaching of a human being. But the horse is a metaphor for the person's life.
Gotcha.
So the horse looks at the person, and the person looks in the horse's eye. And one of the guys that I coached, I said, "What do you see when you look in the horse's eye?" He said, "I can see my inner self for the first time in my life."
Yeah.
So
I'm just gonna stop you for a second because
this should be illegal.
We're gonna take just a very quick short break because my microphone is going down. So a little short break, and then we'll come back right ahead, just a few minutes. So we're back, guys.
Good.
Sorry about that. We had a little problem with the microphone. I think we should be fine now.
Yeah, I think that'll be fine.
And then we see now your beautiful face.
Oh,
faces.
Thank you.
But yeah, so we were talking about hippotherapy.
Hippotherapy.
Hippotherapy. So treatment, coaching of a person with a horse.
Well, actually, the ancient Greeks were doing they were using horses in various situations, like children with Down syndrome or other syndromes that maybe children have, or drug addicts.
Wow.
It's a very deep learning with this hippo coaching, and we can't do it all. You know, with some paraplegics, or we can do work like this, but when we, as a focus, is on corporates and corporate teams.
Okay, so that's your target clientele?
So that's our clientele, and individuals who want to develop themselves. So that's our target customer.
Yeah.
Corporates and individuals in those corporates who want to develop their career and they want to develop their teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's where our main focus is. And of course then comes the individual development and awareness coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned that one of the biggest assets of this coaching is self-confidence.
Yes.
Would you want to maybe talk about a few examples? Maybe you, I don't know.
Maybe you should do it because I'm not so
because
great.
you're she has a real experience.
She has, yeah.
And you're more in it, and it's you're yourself.
And I'm in it to win it. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a way of connection with inner self. Normally there are lots of external variables around, so it helps to feel the power during the program, and to connect with inner self and to be aware about yourself. So it's the first step of personal development. So
self-awareness.
Yeah,
self-awareness.
It's totally related to self-awareness, and it helps people to realize how they can reach to their targets.
Yeah.
With which strength and how they can develop their weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a way of it's like kind of a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the horse is like a mirror, and
the thing with the horse is, if you don't show leadership, the horse won't follow you. Okay, the horse will just ignore you. You have to show your full self to the horse. And then the horse will take a good look at you and in an instant will understand this person can or cannot lead me.
I have something that pops up in my mind just by your explanation of both, is when you mentioned about the mirror and you said that you have to be with the horse and then he reacts instantly. Does it mean that the horse reacts differently depending on who the...
Yes.
Of course.
Absolutely. If you approach the horse with a negative attitude, you're going to get a negative attitude straight back. So we encourage people not to be afraid. We give them 15 minutes of walking with the horse, talking with the horse before we start the actual coaching.
Yeah.
So that they lose the fear. Because many people are afraid of having a 600 kilo thing. Looking at them for directions, you know.
Yeah.
You know, when you get in your car and it's got how many horsepower, I don't know, 150 horsepower or whatever, you just start it and it goes.
Yeah.
But when you've got 1 horsepower next to you, it's a little bit intimidating. So one of the first questions we ask in this coaching, on every one of the coaching courses that we have got, five different courses, we take people with a horse to the mirror and we say to them, look at yourself in the mirror, look at your horse in the mirror, and tell me how important you feel. And then they say how important they feel. Then we do the coaching, and we do that same thing again. Now, how important do you feel? And the answer is always different.
From the beginning till the end.
It's always different.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
that's what we want to show the people, that in 1 hour of walking with the horse and doing obstacles with the horse, of course, they can lose fear, they can find their strength, they can find their confidence, and they can step into themselves. I always say to people, step into your power. Step into your power. And once you step into your power, the horse will follow you like you did.
Guide the horse.
And no lead rein. She had no lead rein, no nothing.
Yeah. Lead your life. So you gain the leading power of your life.
Because if the meaning a little bit in let's say if you have to put a meaning to that is, if you're not able to lead yourself, how are you ever going to lead anybody else?
Yeah.
How are you going to be in a marriage if you can't lead yourself?
Right.
How are you going to be in a team if you can't lead yourself? How are you going to even go shopping if you can't lead yourself?
Yeah. Even having like I would say even a real friendship. If you can't have, if you don't know yourself, you can't lead yourself. You can't have a real friendship with someone.
And to take your life's control.
Yeah. Be in control.
Yeah.
She can come.
Can she? Okay.
Yeah. You know, we're animal lovers at Unbox Exchange. We love animals, all kind of animals.
Especially the fish behind you dying of lack of oxygen.
Yeah. They'll be fine. If we see some of them going up, we'll open a little bit.
It's fish for dinner.
Yeah, fish for dinner. That's a good one. But so you started Hippotherapy, and then you joined.
We don't call it Hippotherapy. We call it Hippo Coaching.
Hippo Coaching. All right, yeah, Hippo Coaching. So you started Hippo Coaching on your own, and then and then you joined Janis.
She developed the program, and then she invited me to make a business plan.
More marketable.
And also to make the program in a proper way to explain people, and also to develop different kind of programs which is needed.
Okay.
So we started to develop the program together with different kind of needs.
Okay.
So that's why I joined the club to present the program.
She's a VIP in this club, by the way.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
All right, very nice.
Thank you. So that's why, and now we are a team, by the way.
Right.
So there is another people who also support the program.
Okay.
So we are as a team.
You are three of you guys.
Yeah.
One Turkish.
All right. Is that our someone's here?
Someone's here.
All right. We can take a quick break. All right, quick break, and then we'll see you in a bit. So what were we saying?
We have also a Turkish coach. Because in Turkey there is a language barrier.
Yeah.
So that's why we should mention that we already have a Turkish coach.
And she's got a master's degree in emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah, and we work a lot with emotional intelligence with the horses, of course. The horses are emotional.
Of course, creatures.
Yeah. So she's got a master's in emotional intelligence, and she did part of her thesis on hippotherapy. Yeah, I have a thesis.
She must be.
She's a piece of gold.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, she's my little gold nugget.
It's
with
a pity.
Flaming red hair.
It's a pity that she's not here, but unfortunately, I think it's a little bit my fault because it's the first time, as I mentioned, that it's the first time I have a women's.
She wasn't
available. It's the first time that I have two guests.
No, she wasn't available. I wanted to ask you if I could bring her, and then I asked her, and she said she's unavailable because she's got no nanny.
Yeah. We'll set up another podcast with her in the future.
She's delightful.
When I'm a little bit more professional and I don't have those kinds of mic problems. I'm sorry about that.
But that's fine.
Yeah. So you were mentioning that you came up because you execute. So
yes.
You're more like on an emotional part, and you're more like on a structured.
Yeah.
How do we make money out of it? I guess.
And also give the value, not just money. We develop the society, we develop individuals. Yeah. So it is something like a giving and taking. Yeah. It's not just earning money.
Yeah.
So that's why for a very long time we also invested a lot. Yeah. To develop the program.
We did 1 year of R&D actually.
Yeah.
Like excluding the summer.
Yeah.
1 year of R&D, and then we executed.
Now our aim is to giving the value and to see the result and going through word of mouth. To see the results and make people happy, and then after a while we'll focus to get money. Now our priority is not earning the money.
So now did you guys set up like different courses depending on your customer?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the different courses that you guys have?
Okay, so we have one course called the Inner Self, and this course involves the person finding their true inner self, their true strengths, their true weaknesses, and weakness can easily become a strength if you can identify it. The second course we have is for teams, but it's individual coaching. They get 1 hour with the horse and 4 hours or 5 hours online coaching from the Turkish Coach. Then we have one for teams, and we can take a maximum of nine people on this. And it's a very fun course because it's competitive and lots of maneuvers and lots of obstacles to get around, and in a certain time frame they have to execute as a team together. To one horse, sorry about that. One horse, 2 people. So they have to be able to communicate.
To connect.
Otherwise the horse won't understand, okay?
Yeah.
So they walk backwards, they walk forwards, they go in circles, they step out of the boundaries, they step into the boundary and do all sorts of weird things. And a lot of people laugh a lot because they can't execute properly. But at the end, it all comes together. Then I have one course that I've just started, helping high school students to find out what their career path should look like.
Okay.
And this is a very interesting course. So I spend 1 hour with the individual before the horse. Then I go with the horse and we use whatever he said in the first conversation to put obstacles and names to obstacles. And we'll get a very good result from this. And the final course that I'm busy in the process of developing is for expats.
Okay.
To create cross-cultural awareness and just basic how to survive, moving to Turkey or moving to Istanbul, because it's a culture shock for most of us. It was a culture shock for me, and I had to adapt, which I have, and I want to share that experience with as many people as I can.
Right.
Yeah.
In order to help.
Help them. Yeah.
So it's actually very broad and very wide.
Yes.
It starts from high school students until a group of 10 corporates.
Until VPs or presidents with egos. You know?
Right. Get back a little bit, get back to earth and
touch the ground.
Touch the ground, yeah.
Yes, it helps every individual who has a potential to grow.
That's why it's FC Full Circle Grow is my website. fcgrow.com.
So we'll share this anyways. We'll put all the details and the LinkedIn's and the website and everything in the description, so that if people want to figure out and you know research a little bit and see what it is, how it is, and I guess they can call you guys.
Of course.
And the thing I was wondering is, it sounds also a little bit like there's some team building for a corporation who has some
absolutely. It's the most popular course.
Is the team building?
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody wants to do it.
It sounds super exciting. I'm excited just hearing about it.
It's fun because it's fun. It's competitive, and sometimes you have 2 people and 1 horse, and the people don't like each other, but they have to like each other in this situation. You have to push the positive communication, otherwise the horse just won't cooperate.
Yeah, common goal.
You have to have common goal, clear understanding, clear communication. You have to be concise, and you have to be quite decided that we're all in the same page. If you're not on the same page with each other, the horse will just sit there and say, I'm not going to go anywhere. Thank you very much.
So how does like a day of treatment or coaching goes? Like how is it the people arrive there and then
okay, let me tell you.
Yeah, like
people arrive there and we let them have some tea, coffee, and then I explain about safety with the horse. The rules of safety and the rules of engagement are extremely important. Why? horses are prey animals, so you don't approach them from the back because you can't be a wolf in their mind. You always approach a horse from the side. You never stand behind the horse's shoulder. You should always stand next to the horse's head. The horse should be slightly behind you so you can see whatever you're doing. This, when you have this horse over here, you need to trust completely that this horse is not going to do anything to you. Because a lot of people think, oh, he's going to bite my ear off, Well, he's not going to bite your ear off, all right? So a lot of people don't know that. So let me take them into the arena with the horse, and they all get an opportunity to sit, pat, lead, whatever, with the horse to desensitize them. And after they're desensitized, then we start the coaching. When we can say, what is your fear level now? And they say 8 out of 10. Okay, just let's carry on doing what we're doing until you tell me that your fear level is 2. When your fear level is 2, it's good because you need to have a little bit of stuff in you to room up, You need a bit of stress. Positive stress is a good thing. And when they fall into the motion with the horse, they forget about the horse biting them on the ear or something stupid like that. I've been around horses for 65 years and I've never had a horse bite me on my ear.
I think that's a great example. I was like, don't worry guys, she has been there for 65 years.
I'll slap my ears. Yeah.
So, and the coaching is for one day, or are the programs longer?
The team coaching is 1 day. It starts at 9:30 in the morning, finishes at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So weekends, I guess.
No.
Weekdays.
Weekdays.
Okay.
Yeah, it is in the weekdays. So we invite 9 people. We have 3. We divide to 3 teams, and one by one, they let's say rotate the leader.
Yeah.
And 2 of them is like a teammate, and the one is the leader.
Telling them what to do. Go backwards, go forwards, go in a circle.
So one is leading and 2 is the teammate. So, and then we rotate them. So the horse reflects the real leadership, So it's immediate reaction. So you see the result immediately. Who is the leader in the team?
Yeah.
I mean, real leader. I'm not telling you what's in the organization.
Exactly.
So it makes a very differentiation and awareness within the team. And this is the very, a great HR practice in the field. So everybody takes a note. Everybody sees what's happening, really, not just in a theory,
Not just on paper.
not just in the corporate life, in real life. So, and then it is by this experience, then we invite them to the classroom, and then we start to talk, and we let them explain their experience. And we connect the responses with the actions, with the outputs, to be actions.
The outputs from the coaching.
How they're gonna, let's say, take the lessons from this experience to apply in their life, especially in business life. Yeah. Because this experience make them a real awareness that what works, what doesn't work.
Who works, who doesn't work,
and also which kind of communication works and which is not.
Yeah.
Because if there is a very selfish individual in the organization, it suddenly disappears. That he's so selfish, or if somebody is too corporate, it doesn't also work because it should be balanced. Yeah. So they have to be balanced to make a real a good way of communication and a balanced communication and in a proper way to can lead, or to be a real teammate. So it helps people to see themselves and aware about themselves. And then in the classroom, we connect this with empathy, with business world, with corporate team.
Legitimate examples.
Yes, and then they really go with a conclusion of what to do as a next step in their business life.
Actually, Ulduz brought her team from her company.
Yeah.
And she saw, you can say what she saw.
Yeah, we already went with our values, to-dos, and our strategies as a team, not the corporate strategies, in a way of communication. What is our values? How do we value to give a value to the community. What is our mission as a team to be in the corporate?
Yeah.
You know, so
separate than the corporate
separate
mission.
than the corporate mission, of course, separate than the corporate. So it helped us to feel more strength and motivated when we went to the work to work with each other.
Yeah.
We didn't focus on the negative ways. We focused on the positive ways.
Yeah.
You know, so it also was a very great experience for my team. And as a leader, I felt that I gave them a value to how to look in a visionary way in the business life. You know, there were early comer in the club. There was a very, let's say, experienced staff as a managers in the team.
Yeah.
So they become like, forget about the titles. We are a teammates. Everybody
Exactly.
has the same vision. Everybody is here.
Nobody's more equal than anybody else.
So it's beyond the egos. So it's different than kind of outdoor activities. You know, it's something more than that.
What about productivity? Do you see a difference in productivity after the program with your team?
Yes, because it focuses people to the target.
Yeah.
So it's beyond.
Everybody's in the common goal and they don't think about the rest.
Yes.
I guess they think about the rest, but their behavior changes. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're more like, okay, you want it or not, we're gonna have to do it.
They're
so
more
let's do it
connected
together.
with it.
Yeah,
They're more
because there's
connected
something
with each
stronger
other.
than human. You know,
yeah.
That's why they forget to show the strength.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Because being with a horse can be a very humbling experience for anybody, especially a person with really high ego, and you give them a nice big horse, and all of a sudden their ego's not so big anymore. You know?
I
think we should try this with a few people I know.
Yeah, okay. Good idea.
Normally they avoid to come.
They avoid, of course.
They avoid. This is our challenge, you know.
Because they have everything to lose.
They are afraid.
They're afraid,
But you know, it works for this kind of people more than everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have that much to lose.
Of course.
Exactly.
Of course.
They have also a lot to gain by seeing, okay, I'm not that big of someone actually, and I have such a big path in front of me.
Yeah.
To like evolve as a person.
This is the development need for this kind of people.
But I think the number one thing is willing. They have to want to come there.
Yeah.
They have to want to change some behaviors, okay? Our mission is to take out negativity or toxicity and put in positivity. It's an exchange. When you take something away, you have to give them something back. So we're going to take that toxic behavior, shouting, mobbing, we're going to take that toxic behavior and say, why don't you try it like this?
Not a way.
Maybe you'll get a better result. You know, and we use geography and we use props and what have you to represent these personality flaws, if I can say.
Yeah.
We use props and we use what do we call it? Obstacles.
Obstacles,
Yeah, all sorts of different things.
Those are part of your Those are part of how you develop your own course, I guess.
Uh-huh.
But what's there's something I was always wondering. It's what's the biggest change that you saw in someone?
Well, the biggest change I ever saw in anybody was from Akkada or Lactalis. You know Lactalis, the company. The HR manager. What is he? Not the group manager. Mm-hmm. The HR manager.
Okay. Do I have to beep all this, or can we let it?
No.
Okay.
Don't have to beep anything because
they're because I guess some the reason why I said that is some people.
No, they said
we have the permission as a confidentiality.
Okay,
yeah. I mean, he said to me, I interviewed him on my phone afterwards, and he said, "This was life-changing for me." Life-changing means, that's a big aha for me,
right?
You know. And I said, "What do we mean life-changing? What does life-changing mean?" He said, "I felt my inner self for the first time in my life, and I'm 41 years old."
Wow.
This was a big aha for me, because I felt that we'd given him the space of unconditional thinking to find his inner self. And it was just
emotional.
It was so emotional. The tear was running out of his eye, you know. So he just had an emotional aha moment, I guess. And it was just so special for me as a coach to see this happy smile go away.
Yeah.
And think, well, I've just made another person happy. Because that's what it's about, eh? Having a happy life.
Yeah.
Loving what you do. Doing what you love. You know?
Becoming a better person.
That's I
think
in our website you'll see be the best version of yourself that you can be.
Right.
This is our goal for people, for everybody, for ourselves and for everybody else. Be the best version of yourself you could ever be. And working with a horse allows you that unconditional space to create this kind of vision, you know.
Yeah. And you as a coach, when you have that 40-year-old guy right in front of you who's like
the unbelievable.
big, whatever, HR responsible of a big company, having tears in his eyes and like looking at you and saying, you changed my life.
Yeah. I actually didn't change his life. He changed his own life. I just helped him. And the horse helped him.
Guidance.
Yeah. He did the work.
Yeah.
I didn't do the work. I just asked the questions. And I sometimes say, ask the horse the question, don't ask me. And you'll find the answer, because the horse is a metaphor for something else, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so it's a very powerful tool, because horses are strong, noble, kind, compassionate. They give completely, there's no judgment. Horses don't judge people, you know? It's a unconditional environment.
It's like a better version of the human being. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit.
Unless the horse has been badly treated by a human being before, then we have a bit of an issue, but we don't work with horses like that.
Yeah.
We always work with older horses, safe horses. We call bomb-proof horses.
That's the question I had. Yeah, it's like for people who are scared, you know.
We desensitize them.
Did you ever have problems with people that are scared?
Of course. They go like, but I say, if you do that, you're scaring the horse. Don't do that. Use slow movements. Use a low voice. Don't shout. A lot of people shout, you know. I said, don't shout at my horse. My horse doesn't understand shouting. Yeah. My horse understands empathy. So say that again in a nice way, and you'll get a different reaction.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I've seen in HR, when I was working in corporates, I was like working for a huge corporate for 11 years.
Yeah.
I saw managers step out of their office, stand in the door of their office, and then there's a big open space of office area. And this one guy stands up at his office and he says, "Erkan, come here!" And Erkan's sitting on the other side of the room. And I thought to myself, how rude. How can this guy stand in his office door and scream across the office to a guy who's 20 meters away? Why doesn't he just pick the phone up?
Yeah.
Why did he behave in such a toxic that's toxic.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. And if somebody had shouted at me like that, my response wouldn't have been the same as the guy's response. I kind of scuttled too.
Of course.
You know? And I just saw this was a mobbing, bullying kind of a person. And I'm a quite brave person. I went to him. He was a vice president. And I said to him, why did you shout like that? That kind of behavior is not acceptable in corporates, you know? And he kind of said, well, it's got nothing to do with me. But I just felt that I had to say something, because I felt so bad for that guy who was scuttling across this kind of behavior. We try to take out of organizations, and it's easy to see when you've got a group of 9 people together. It's easy to see who's mobbing who and who is listening to who and who is the leader and who is the follower, and it's very easy.
Yeah,
it comes like you can see in 5 minutes.
Because you guys have been doing this now for years, so it's like, of course it's easier. I guess.
Is, you know, there is a non-verbal communication with horse.
Yeah.
So it is very easy to observe this non-verbal communication way of people, with horses. And horse reflects, I mean, the communication which you are trying to do with the horse, and reflects exactly in the same way. So that's why we just note and our observations, and then we discuss this to avoid this kind of negative behaviors, and then replace them with better ones, with the positive ones, and then they easily see the difference. So in a day, so we gain a very quick response of our program within a day.
That's the most important part, I think, because it's like for
you get
people,
instant delivery.
Yeah.
Sorry?
You get instant delivery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's difficult to realize that say, okay, I'm gonna go with the horse. It's gonna take such a long time, blah, blah, but it's actually not, because you have, as you say, it's a mirror.
Yeah.
So it's instant.
It's instant.
But is it instant for them, or is it instant for you guys? But when you observe,
it's obvious for us. It's obvious for us, and people who are with the horse quickly find out that if they give negative feedback to the horse is going to give negative feedback to them by not cooperating. And they quickly find out if they give positive feedback to the horse will give positive feedback to them. They quickly. Exactly. So you don't tell a horse what to do, you ask a horse what to do. You never shout at a horse.
Yeah.
Because the horse can't shout back. But if you shout at a horse, there's a good chance he might just do something bad to you, like hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 600, 800 kilogram beast.
I've been slapped in the head by a horse before, and I landed on the ground, you know.
We become in the same page in a day with the group.
Wow. To me, when I hear that, if I'm an owner of a big company and I have, 50 employees, 100 employees, I think that whoever is going to get hired is going to pass by this before getting hired.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Because I would be like, all right, I want to see you with the horse. Let's go and see if you're able to, like...
It's a very new perspective. I like that. Huh? It's a good perspective.
Well, step by step, we'll you know.
I don't know. It's because when you think about it on the different on the like opposite way.
Yeah.
If you wanna have someone in your company, you want to make sure that person is able to like get back to earth, listen, interact, be a real leader, show it by act, because you can see it directly.
Of course. That's why we implement this program to succession planning with HR leaders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do they react to that? Are they?
They're very curious.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
They're very curious.
it's not very as
common.
It's not very common, and it's not 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah,
it is for you guys, but when you explain it,
it's not for us. It's like 1 and 1 = 3 here.
Yeah.
In this, yes.
That's why we invite them to observe and to feel, to experience. So we do a short demo with them, and then when they experience this, they are very curious and they take it.
I take them to my horse you met yesterday
to
desensitize them. And then if they're afraid, because she's, as you can see, she runs around like a crazy horse.
Yeah.
But she's very kind. Very kind horse.
Very much, yeah.
And so it's a shortcut to desensitize him, because I don't have to pay a lot of money to rent her.
Right.
Because we pay a lot of money to rent the horses. The horses are not cheap. They don't come cheap.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a boutique kind of thing at the moment.
Well, because your clientele is also very specific. It's very broad, but it's very specific. Because you have to have a guy or a woman who comes up and who says, okay, I really want to become a better person. And this is something that's pretty rare, I think. I mean, we all like unconsciously try to be a better person every day, but it takes like a whole step to call you and say, hey, what are the physical steps that I can do in your program to become a better person?
It's a high awareness.
Exactly. And that's it's a high awareness, and the results, I think, the reward from coming is also very high.
Yes.
We also come from the perspective of, this is where a coactive coaching comes from the perspective that all people are born pure, resourceful, and completely innocent.
Yeah.
So we try to get back to this resourcefulness, this pureness. We try to get the inside of that person, to see that side of them, how they were born. And of course, personalities are swayed by many different circumstances, but to know themselves is to know what they were when they were born, you know, and they were born whole and pure and resourceful. So we want them to leave us being whole and pure and resourceful, to find solutions to problems, you know. That's the core of our course.
Their way, by the way. We don't tell them what to do. They find their way with their individual resources.
And their intentions.
Yes.
Because the as it's very wide and broad, it's, I guess, difficult to tell them what to do.
Of course, we don't tell them what to do. They just do. And they just feel that what they did, and they react, and they start to change immediately their behaviors. And
what works and what doesn't work,
And the whole experience about their life, it's a very shortcut of their life. How do they behave to their parents, kids, teammates, even, let's say,
husbands,
spouses,
wives,
whoever around. So they find their way to interact differently. And then they see the results immediately, and they progress. They are on the progress in the whole program, and then they finalize with a game. I mean,
also, there's the thing, you know, we have to look at the world as it is. Right now, it is what it is. What is it for me? Post-pandemic time, teams are shattered. Okay, they've been looking at each other on a computer screen on Microsoft Teams or Google Meet or whatever platform they use. And there was no real team interaction for almost 18 months.
Yeah.
This fragmented a lot of teams. And we in our marketing, we've come across, we usually go first to HR. We find that they say our team is fragmented. And can you help us put it back together again? And then there's another thing that comes after the pandemic and the earthquakes, is compassion. The world needs more compassion. People need to show more compassion, especially after these disasters, you know. And people need to feel that people are being more compassionate.
Yeah.
And when you show compassion with a horse, you get a big lot of compassion back.
Big reward.
Big reward. And this is also one of the keys, because it helps you to step into your positive power. I know that sounds a bit mumbo-jumbo, but it's not.
No, for sure. I was also thinking about the fact, like, the Turkey as a country and the culture here, it's a very difficult, approach for Turkish people, because they're not really into, like, horses.
No,
and
they're
the culture
not.
is not really, like,
but
what is it always going to do to me, you know, like.
Yeah.
They're very interested. And, you know, we had Akkada,
Yeah.
Lactalis, the HR team. There were 6 of them. Hey? They couldn't say enough. I swear to God. I've asked if I could do a YouTube interview with the director, because he also came. You never saw such a happy face leave in your whole life. And he said, of course, I'll go on YouTube. You could ask me anything about this course. It was the most wonderful thing. Out of the box, out of the blue, but right on the dot.
Yeah.
And coming from him, he's the HR director for a large space of land, not only Turkey. And
Turkish nationality.
He's Turkish nationality, but he's responsible for Europe and Africa and what have you.
All right.
In fact, he just come back from South Africa. He said, when we're on YouTube, I'll market for you, no problem. This is wonderful.
Just because of how
he felt, and how his team felt.
Affected.
People has an experience about coaching,
yeah.
So they also know us. So as an experience, you know, as 2 of us, which we have also experience in this field.
Right.
When we explain, even it's a little bit strange. Most of the multinational companies give take coachings as an HR practice.
Yeah.
So this is out of the box, yes. Some of the people the people who avoid, as we talked before, they may have unconscious, barriers. to avoid
Presumptions,
to put step on this kind of, so we don't force anyone.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why this is if the individual is ready, they just step in. So we are focusing this kind of people, as a first, introduction. And after a while, when they see the results, and when anyone join to any session, they are immediately interested because there's nothing wrong, So we just, of course, they're uncoachable people.
Yeah.
That none of the coaching programs is not easy to take the results. So that's why now our first priority is not this kind of people.
Of course.
So that's why we are not afraid about to be out of the box or to be like it's
special.
not easy. It's not easy to explain. It is a out of the box program, of course.
Yeah.
But the people who are ready, they immediately are interested.
And they immediately see the results, which is even much more rewarding.
And also, we also do something else. There's an obstacle course, okay, with a maze, a labyrinth, and then some cones and poles and little different things. And we set aside one corner of the arena as the, how can I say, chill out zone. You're feeling afraid, you're feeling scared, you don't feel comfortable, so we make a comfort zone and put some chairs in the comfort zone. I've never had anybody go to the comfort zone. Never.
In how many years?
In 2 years I've been doing this.
Wow.
Yeah, I never had anybody go to the comfort zone, not ever.
Even though many of them were scared.
Afraid. It's going to bite my ear. No, I'll bite your ear if you don't shut up now.
So guys watching, be more scared of Janis than of the horse.
Would you like me to bite your ear so you can have the experience?
Yeah. That was a good one. Yeah. Well, I hope that nobody ever goes into the comfort zone. But
nobody ever has.
Yeah.
Nobody ever has. We make it there. We make a little circle.
Yeah.
This is your safe circle. Everything else is your uncomfortable zone.
Which is great because it's also it helps people to
I can be safe if I need.
Exactly. If I need some place, I can go there.
And then if somebody would go to the comfort zone, immediately the Turkish coach would follow them and find out what's going on in this person's head.
Because this is a very big sign.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. Of nearly treatment.
This is also a part of a coaching.
Yeah. What would be the difference between coaching and treatment? Because I feel that
we're not clinicians,
Oh, okay. That's
we're not clinicians.
Okay.
No, we coaches.
Because I feel that if someone goes into that, for example, that circle that safe zone, it means that there is a problem, which means that you need a treatment to like.
No, maybe they just want to talk about something, or maybe they're just frightened.
Yeah, that's possible.
Maybe they're just frightened because you got a 600 kilogram horse saying, "What must I do next?"
Right.
And maybe they're not used to giving orders to a 600 kilo person,
There might be a story behind unconscious part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because
probably is a
horse,
story.
Opens this part also.
Of the person.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow.
That's why we are not therapists. Okay, if the reason of this, the frightening or some kind of this story is related to the something more than coaching, we just put it in this. We don't go that beyond.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is related just as an incident, what happened, this is a coaching part.
Gotcha.
Then we go through this part.
Yeah.
If it's because of the team, if it's because of any incidents during or any experience of within the team or something related to coaching, we took it. We take it.
Yeah.
But if it's regarding the unconscious part, and it's not easy to explain, and the individual can't explain because horse, the interaction with the horse and these non-verbal issues starts some unconscious signs in some individuals.
Yeah.
So we don't go in this part.
Therapists work in the past,
Yeah.
coaches work in the present moment and the future. We may not go into the past.
Yeah.
We are absolutely forbidden to go into the past.
What's the reason for that?
Because coaching is the be here in the moment
Yeah.
and going forward.
But what about if a past event in a person is being a barrier for that person to evolve in the
Then
future?
we can find that out in the coaching,
Yeah.
but we're not going to coach that behavior. That behavior is coached by a psychologist.
And is it because like you don't want to, is it responsibility or?
No, it's a rule. It's a
Okay.
rule of coaching, yeah.
Okay.
It is different disciplines.
Yeah.
So it is not in our responsibility and in our
Because
experience.
everybody comes with baggage.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
we're not there to deal with their baggage, okay? So please leave your baggage at the door
Yeah.
when you come into the barn, you know?
Right.
And if the person has baggage, you can ask, are you carrying baggage with you? Do you need it? Because if you don't need it, throw it away.
Right.
Show me how you throw it away.
And I guess it's also,
But this is the here and now, not in the past, you know?
yeah, right. If someone comes up and then has this kind of trouble,
Yeah.
and then comes up to you guys and say, yeah, but I really want to find a solution, and I want maybe your treatment, your coaching helps to treat myself. That's another perspective
It's another perspective.
that can be really helpful.
But I mean, we do
Of course.
coach about leaving baggage behind, but we
Yeah.
don't go to the incidents that caused the baggage. Okay?
Gotcha.
We stay in the here and now. Live here now. Be here now. Okay? Be present now.
Because that horse needs you right now.
Right now, in the present moment. You have to stay in the present moment. And the horse helps you stay in the present moment because you always have to be one step ahead of what the horse is going to do. Because the horse can't manage you, right?
You
Once the
gotta
horse
manage- yeah.
starts to manage you, you are finished. Okay?
Yeah.
Literally finished. The horse will have no respect for you.
It's
And
real
respect is a-
mindfulness,
Yeah.
you know, a real mindfulness practice.
It teaches people mindfulness. You know, don't stand on your door and scream, "Arkan!" over the office floor.
It's not gonna.
Send him an SMS.
Yeah.
You know, send him a WhatsApp. Do yourself a favor and be a better person, a better version of yourself.
Right.
You know?
Did you have any people that came and then had the coaching
Uh-huh.
and then came back another time
Yes,
again?
yes,
And did you see
yes, yes,
the difference?
yes.
Like what kind of difference do you see, like physically?
People stepping into their power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody has power in them to do whatever they want to do. I believe that. I mean, we were winners when we were born, you know? We were born winners.
Yeah.
And some people, you know, get sat on and pushed down and trodden on, and they drag a lot of their baggage with them. These kind of situations, like I said before, if I can see a person's carrying their baggage and having a hard time with their baggage, I say, "Are you carrying a lot of baggage? Do you want to leave it at the door, please? You can take it when you leave, but
Yeah.
don't bring it into the horse.
You don't need them right now.
You don't need it right now."
Yeah. And
But-
I guess that some of them would even leave the luggage afterwards and leave without them at all because they realize
That's the hope.
that's the goal.
But you know, that's the hope. But some people like being victims, you know.
Yeah.
Some people enjoy being a victim. And if they want to enjoy being a victim, please pack your baggage and take it the hell out of here when you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah?
When people see the result, they ask for the next step.
Right. Yeah.
So we are all already ready for the next step. That's why we are here. That's the value. The progress never ends.
Yeah. Because someone can come back 5 times, 10 times. At the 10th time, he's still going to be able to progress into something better.
You know, it's like somebody
It
is in
doesn't take that
therapy.
much long.
Yeah, no,
normally. But
hopefully.
yeah.
But it's like, you know, some people are addicted to their therapist, you know.
Yeah.
They have to have their therapist
Yeah.
once or twice a week. It's an addiction, you know. The therapist is a crutch to help this person through their everyday life. And that therapist goes and digs in the past and digs in your baggage and da 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 da. I don't want to dig in somebody's baggage because it's gone, it's over, it's past, it's left, needs to be either remembered if it's good or forgotten if it's bad, but it's not going to honor any of your values. That's another thing we work with. What are your values? And are you honoring your values? Because if you are not honoring your values, you are not being the best version of yourself that you can be.
Right.
So write down your values. This is work that they do before they come on the course. They fill out a wheel of life. It's got like 14, 15,
Values.
16
Questions?
different
Values.
values.
Okay.
And rated from 10 to 0, 10 being good, 0 being not good at all. They fill out this wheel of life.
They rate themselves.
They rate
Okay,
themselves. And they do values. You do like, what are your real values? Think about it. Is it joy? Is it giving? What are your values?
Yeah.
So they bring their values with them, and they bring their wheel of life with them. And these are tools for us as coaches to say, okay, what do you want to work on first? What is your biggest problem right now?
What do you think is your
What do
biggest
you
problem?
think is your biggest problem right now? And you watch the behavior of the person. We can choose 2 competencies. You can't choose 16 competencies for an
Obviously.
hour, but we can choose 2. So we try to use 1 personal competency, and we try to use 1 corporate competency, okay? And we try to coach that in the individual coaching. And this is working really well because people are discovering what their values are and then trying to honor those values throughout their life. Saying, I used to do it like this, but it didn't work so well. Now I've been coached to do it like this, and it works better. So the behavior changes.
It's a little bit of a personality test, I would say. Not test, but personality perspective of yourself. How you feel.
Yes.
But what I would think right away is, I might think that I'm, I don't know, a great leader, and I put 10 as a leader, but when you're on the field, you just figure out that you're actually a 3.
Yeah.
Isn't it something that you commonly...
Can happen, huh?
Right?
It can happen.
Yeah?
For sure.
It happens also.
People lie to themselves sometimes, you know.
I'm great at this.
Mm-hmm.
And then while the practice happens, you
Uh-huh.
see that it's not at all the case.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I was once in a... I was observing a team of vice presidents and presidents doing teamwork. And the teamwork involved cooking something, okay? And serving this something. And there was this one vice president. He refused to put on the apron. He refused to put on the hat. He sat there with his arms closed. He would not pick up a knife to cut anything. He said, that's a woman's job. Now, can you imagine
my God.
coaching this guy?
Was that in 2023 or was
No,
it
that was in like
1890?
that was in like 2006, 2005.
Yeah.
No, 2010, round about there. Yeah, you just it was laughable actually.
Mm-hmm.
All the other VPs and presidents had their little chef's hats on and they were going for it. And and he's
That's how ridiculous you can become
Yes,
as
of course.
as a entitled.
As a teammate.
Yeah.
Can you
And
imagine?
also, you know?
Can you imagine having a boss like that?
So bad. And I'm sure he doesn't realize. And he's never going to realize. That's the kind of
No.
person who's never going to...
Uncoachable people.
Yeah,
They are
uncoachable.
uncoachable.
Exactly the
It's
one
uncoachable.
you were talking
Yeah,
about.
they are.
Mhm.
They are.
You get
There are lots of-
uncoachables.
Lots of.
Lots of.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll tell you a story to to get this Turkish coach on board, the one that has the master's degree in emotional intelligence. I really wanted her on board, and she really wanted to be on board. So I said, okay, you coach an uncoachable person with this horse and see if you can carry on.
Right.
So I gave her my husband, who's a mechanical engineer.
Oh my. Recipe to disaster.
You know, it was I was just watching from afar, you know.
Yeah.
And I could see the whole body language was completely negative. and she's trying to engage him and she's putting numbers instead of, she's trying to be mechanical, she's trying to get into his brain, and she's trying to scratch instead of labeling something career. She'd say 1 or 2 or 3. Everything was adapted to numbers because he loves numbers, I just thought, it's a shame, this poor girl, if she can do this, she can work with us, okay? Because he is completely uncoachable. She said to him, what do you see when you look in the horse's eye? And he said to her, I see a reflection of myself and you. That's how uncoachable he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And she was like baptism by fire.
Yeah.
But she was in, huh?
At that moment, you understood
she was in. She loved it. And she because coaching uncoachables is actually quite funny for me.
Yeah.
It's like people don't want to learn anything about themselves. I find it quite humorous,
Right.
Maybe I shouldn't find it humorous, but I do.
It's a bit sad, but I think that as a coach for you guys, it's the best person to actually, as a coach, become better, because that's the only biggest hurdle you have is having someone who's like, no, I don't want to do it, I don't believe in it.
No.
And you're like, all right, just wait a second, just try it.
Exactly.
They don't believe in progress at all, so
yeah,
that's why.
But I think that there must be also people who are very reluctant about the way, like how could a horse help me? But they would want to become a better person, but they don't think and realize
they can't make the connection, you mean.
Exactly.
So if we have a situation like this, that's when I bring them to my horse picker, who you met yesterday, and I let them walk and talk with her, and suddenly they understand how soft and how loving and how unconditional the relationship between me and the horse is. I mean, you saw me with the horse. I treat her like she's my daughter, and just let her run around playing a little bit. And I felt no fear. You felt no fear.
Of course not.
Of course not. We just do that with a person, and we desensitize them very quickly. And if they still don't want to come, then don't come.
Of course, definitely.
I'm not going to force anybody to do this thing.
As Ulduz mentioned, you don't force anybody to do anything.
No, I don't force anybody. And of course people come there who are scared of cats, scared of dogs, scared of horses, because they've been told by their mothers before they were 3 years old, be careful with the cat, be careful with the dog, be careful, they're going to bite you. So the horse is going to bite you too. Well, if you think the horse is going to bite you, the horse will bite you. But if you think the horse isn't going to bite you, you're not going to get bitten.
Yeah.
No. It's so simple for me.
I think it's because you've been in it for such a long time, and then now you also have been involved in it for quite a time. It changes the perception you have from it. When you have someone, I'm just trying to put myself in the shoes of someone else, it's very difficult to apprehend and accept that maybe a horse can help me. It's a whole inner self work of like, okay, maybe he can help me.
So then often I give the example of Suleiman the Magnificent. What was he on when he conquered Istanbul?
Yeah.
What was he on?
He was on a horse.
Exactly.
Yeah, even Suleiman. Suleiman was on a horse.
Yep. Yeah.
No, it's a great example. The biggest, one of the biggest warrior of all time, Genghis Khan.
Yes.
Is famous for horses.
And horses has a relation with Turkish people,
Horses
for a very
brought
long
Turkish
time.
people
Right,
here, from Mongolia.
Yeah.
They followed the horses followed the wolves. So wolves and horses are in the Turkish DNA.
DNA,
Yeah.
The races, they love horse races. Turkish people love.
I think it's a very cruel sport.
I think so too, but it's a very long subject, very long discussion.
It's a discussion for another day. I wish
we invite people to horse clubs.
Yeah.
And we just show them that while people can ride horses, they just can walk with them.
Yeah.
Okay, riding the horses is fun. Okay, so walk with the horse could also be a different experience.
Right.
And we just show them how kind of a good environment is this? And then they let, themselves to just, see what's going to happen. And when it's some kind of a word of mouth, they hear from different people and we let them about our testimonial results. Yeah. And then even it's not that much clear, but they just go in the flow. But because this geography helps them to go in the flow.
Right. Because they've been for such a long time with horses.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. From all the stuff you've been saying, I'm so excited. I want to try, and I will definitely, because it's like, who doesn't want to become a better person? So
it's an interesting question. A lot of people don't want to become better people.
You think so?
I know so.
They think they're
better.
They're
good enough.
They think
especially the guys at the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
They think they've got it all. And they've got the house, they've got the wife, they've got the money, they've got the kids, they've got the schools, they've got the car, they've got everything. But they don't
go next to a horse.
Yeah, stand next to my big horse.
Yeah. And see how
important do you feel now?
Oh wow. So what's the plan for you guys for the next 6 months, 1 year? What's the long-term
we've got some
goal?
coachings planned. That unfortunately, but this earthquake did a lot of damage to a lot of our companies and their employees and what have you. So lots of coachings have been scratched, and because of the earthquake, they've diverted the funds from training to help the victims of the earthquake, which is only correct. Yeah. So this is going to be another building year.
But to be honest, I think that it's also going to have a very big effect on you guys in the near future, because the earthquake have been completely... Of course, the funds have been going there, but on the near term, funds are going to come back and people are going to be even more scattered by what happened.
You also know that people in Turkey, in Istanbul right now, so many people I've spoken to don't want to live in Istanbul right now because they're so afraid of an earthquake. I was talking to Gula, and she lives on the ground floor in Manhattan, and it's like 35 stories or whatever. And she doesn't want to live there because she's too fearful.
Yeah.
Are you fearful?
Normally, I'm not that much fearful person.
Me neither.
I'm brave enough, but every problem is also a potential, for a different story. So, I mean, I think we may gain a opportunity, as you said. Okay, it could be an opportunity for our program to inhale people after all this kind of afraid. Okay, so I think after a while, our plan was to give a corporate teammate coachings in spring, at least for 4 or 5 companies, and then make a launch and like a press release and invite some press, because we need people to know about this about that. But now we just wait for coming needs from different companies, which they also knew about our program, and then we're going to postpone the press release because now in Turkey it's not the the priority.
It's not the right time.
Yeah. So I think we're going to do it in summertime, and in autumn it's the best time to release to make a whole program.
Right.
Because we have 2 coaches, so we can give just 3 companies in a week.
Right.
So we should make a plan.
Yeah.
So now we are in a position that we're gonna take the needs from companies, which we already contacted with them, but we will not launch the program in spring.
And what about for the people who are watching? Are all the programs in here in Göktürk?
No, they were in near Vadi, Istanbul.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are lots of places we could either do in Kilyos, in Büyükçekmece. There are lots of horse clubs.
Right.
So it depends on
flexible.
the need. Yes, it's flexible.
But where they are and what have you, It depends on, like the team building one, we do in Büyükçekmece, because it's got really great facilities. the individual ones we do in Vadi Istanbul. In the future, we might do the training for teams there, but they don't have enough facilities right now. It's a brand new club. It's fantastic. It's really pristine. It looks like something that you see in Europe, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big wow. And they've said, of course, you can work here, and they've given us a really good price. But we need to have a restaurant, and they haven't opened their restaurant yet because we have to feed our coachees.
Right.
You know, so they don't have that facility yet.
Mm-hmm.
When they do have that facility, which will be in May, then we'll do the group coaching in Vadi Istanbul as well.
Would that whole coaching would be something that you could do actually anywhere in the world if you have the right
Of course it
horses?
is. Of course.
Of course.
So it's not about the right horses.
We train
Any
the horses.
horses
Yeah.
is the right horse, you know. I mean, if you get a crazy horse, like we saw in Maviat, it's a crazy Andalusian horse there. He wants to kill everybody. He's a very dangerous horse, and his owner is completely nuts.
Yeah.
I said to the owner of the stables, this horse should be behind bars because he's lethal. If he breaks that door and he comes out of his box, he's going to kill somebody. And they didn't take me seriously. You saw how crazy he was, eh? And he's huge, black Andalusian, beautiful stallion. You
Yeah.
cannot believe. But
We choose the horses. We train the horses.
Exactly.
So there is no any risk.
Yeah.
So in every horse club, we can choose a horse. We can train a horse. So all horses which we work with are trained, and we had a lot of practices with these horses.
I think that, to be honest, on the long term, it's a very, very nice program, and it's just open to its limitless possibilities.
Yes.
Indeed.
Because you don't need that much. There's horses everywhere in the world,
Mhm.
and there's people that need to be coached
Yeah.
be coached everywhere.
everywhere,
around
yeah,
the world. So
everywhere.
if you're able, for me, the way I see it is, if you're able to do something like this
We need to
in
export
Turkey,
it.
Of
you
course.
can do it everywhere.
Yeah, we need
Because
to export it. Yeah.
Turkey is such a specific country, very, you know, I don't want to say closed mind, but if this works, that's how we do it.
Yes.
Mm.
And they generally don't look at, okay, maybe that would work. Maybe let's try
They
this.
don't look at from different perceptions, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you're able to do this here, I
different
mean,
perspectives. So this is
It
what we
works
do.
everywhere.
yeah,
Anyway, we can export this. All we need is ourselves on a plane to another place.
right.
I will search for horses and find them in one day. It's too easy.
Too easy.
Mm-hmm.
And 65, did you say 65 years of experience with horses helps
60.
a lot? 60?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Maybe 55.
Who knows?
60.
When
Yeah.
you look at you, it's like we think maybe 40 or 45.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Flattery will get you everywhere. No, I'm 65 years old. I have a lot to give back to society, and I
And-
want to give back.
That's the great thing about Unbox Exchange, is that we're
Mhm.
here because we have people, and we have talkers, I don't know how to say, like guests who come
Mhm.
from such a broad
Background.
areas.
Yeah.
Like horses. Who would think that I'm talking with two wonderful, successful women who have experience for so many years in the horse field, and the fact that you were capable to, because you're not from the horse field, but
No.
you're from a field that everybody knows. It's
Yeah.
corporate.
Yeah.
2 + 2 = 4, and then you have Janis, who's like hopped on the horse at 5-year-old.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think it was a donkey.
a donkey maybe,
I
and
fell
then
off.
like merge this and
Yeah.
then evolve into
Explore.
something
I
better.
I can see endless possibilities.
Yeah,
This is my personality,
Right.
right? You know, I can see endless possibilities with this course. I can develop new courses just on the go right now, because it's just like taking baby steps and then toddler steps.
making it a bit better. But to be honest, I think that it's you guys have a very, very good long way ahead.
I think so.
Yeah.
Limitless.
Limitless opportunities
Yes,
in front of you guys.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's been nearly 1.5 hours.
Wow.
So
The fish need more
yeah.
oxygen.
None of them are
They're all in the
floating.
corner.
Yeah.
Where's my hair? Where's my hair?
Yeah, so for you guys who don't see, there's there are a few fishes behind with an aquarium, and there was a lot of noise. So I kindly asked if we could turn the oxygen. Is it correct?
Yeah, are we
Yeah.
eating little fish for supper?
Yeah, so we're gonna release them from no oxygen. But yeah, I think 1.5 hour. It's gonna be really good content for the people watching.
Thanks
for you
so
guys.
much.
I want to thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for giving. Do you guys want to add something? Maybe a last little, I don't know,
Look us up.
story.
Look at our website. Come phone us. Make contact.
You have nothing to lose.
We've got nothing. Nobody has anything to lose. Everybody has something to gain from this.
Right.
Everybody, including me.
Including
Giving something, and she's also a giving person, you know. So we like to see people with smiles on their faces.
Right.
Just come and see your potential.
Right. Can people come and watch, like, join, or how does it work if they wanna get to like?
We are always in horse clubs.
Okay.
So we can invite them for a coffee and just show them.
Explain more in details.
Yeah. But whenever they touch a horse, they can realize what's going to happen later on.
Right.
Yeah.
So guys, I'm gonna link the website. Please call them, ask some questions, and again, thank you very much for opening your house to us, Janis.
You're welcome.
It was a big pleasure.
Thank you.
And first, women's of the guest. It was.
Yeah, I know.
It was.
We are the tigers.
Thank you for giving us such an opportunity to explain our program.
It's a pleasure.
It's our pleasure.
It's a big pleasure. So I hope you guys all the best for
Thank
the
you
future.
so much, Angelus.
Everything will be great.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, and keep in touch.
we keep in touch for sure.
For sure.
I will see you very soon.
Yes.
Maybe we'll make a podcast with the horses. Who knows?
That
Once.
would be nice.
That would be great.
We can do that.
Good idea.
We can
Yeah.
do it in Bukçekmece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Gurman.
Yeah. We are always available.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
too.
Have a good one.
You have a good one too.
See you guys, and then like, subscribe, put some comments, ask them some questions, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.